I get to Mark Holmes, who covers the Dallas Cowboys.
Mark Holmes,
Trotter has the
son of John Holmes,
draft choice.
has ever had Stephen Jones on 4 times on his show?
It really doesn't matter.
Who in the world is Mark Holmes? Will somebody please tell me?
They're going to expect that
here. So before we start this video, I gotta get this.
And when he doesn't, or if he does, that's all they're going to hold him to. They're not going to know he was a 5th rounder. The only thing they know of him is
Mark Holmes is my dad.
He's Jeremiah Trotter's son.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate
he has
you guys being here as we get ready to get on the Dan
that pressure
Silio
on him, like
show.
a first-round pick.
And
all right,
we'll see.
I want to set this up before I do Mark Holmes here. We bring him on. Mark, I want, and I hope he's listening to this. So Micah Parsons, or as I like to call him, Missing Parsons. He came out on a podcast the other day, and someone asked him a question about why people want to have the Cowboys on TV versus having the Eagles. And I'm paraphrasing this here, and he says, who the hell wants to watch the tush push?
Yeah, true.
And I said this, people don't watch you, Micah, because you're the Cowboys. They watch you because they enjoy watching you lose like you do. They're not rooting for you, son. They're rooting against you. They watch you because you're the ultimate reality show. They should be called the Dallas Kardashians. Wow. That's who the Cowboys are.
Wow.
They win every offseason. If there's an award for the offseason, the Dallas Cowboys are 27-time champion.
Oh, wow.
With that being said,
wow.
The man who covers the offseason Warriors, our friend, Mark Holmes.
Well, damn, man. You just got to blow that shit up like that? Good God, man.
What did I say that was wrong?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You know what? I can't really argue that because we all know you're driving down the road. You see a bunch of police cars on the side of the road. What do? You going to look and say, what the hell happened there? You know what? Jerry Jones has built the drama that is the Dallas Cowboys. And here's, let me go ahead and give you a little bonus in there. Shout out to you, Dan. I appreciate being here and everything else and literally big slapping me as soon as I walk in. But the whole Deion Sanders and his son situation, most people didn't pick up that a couple of days ago, Deion and Secure were on a podcast. And they asked him, what receiver would you like to throw to? I don't know if you saw that or not.
I didn't.
And he said, CeeDee Lamb. And then Deion said, oh, Lord. He said, they're going to be talking about this. Like he was really concerned. But he said, did y'all get that? And I was like, wait a minute. Did you get that? So he made sure of it. He said, yeah, me and CD, we've been talking at the Super Bowl and everything else. See, the way I look at it as the whole drama that then came out.
Who was the first to lay that out to you?
Who was the first to lay that out to me?
Shedeur Sanders and Deion to Cowboys next year.
Oh, I mean, that's been talked about for a while now. I mean, from the time Deion said he was going to put teams on notice that he wasn't going to, he wasn't going to go to certain teams. And see, now you done gone through here. You've got this extra drama with, the former player that they told to transfer and how that's turning off a bunch of teams. Now Deion can kind of say, you know what, we ain't signing with your team. And teams will look at this and say, you know what, there's a whole lot of drama on here. Maybe I should step away from this. This is about maybe being there with the Cowboys. Because who would like to have more drama than Jerry?
I know, and you know what? And Mark, I've been saying this for 3 months that I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys because Michael Irvin told me this.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that is true. I
Irvin,
forgot. Philly 500 told me that that's it. Yeah, I forgot. I'm getting old and forgetful, man.
Michael believes the reason that the extensions haven't been done for Dak and for Mike McCarthy are just for that simple fact that those two guys are sitting. Now, look, do I think something gets – here, if you sign Dak Prescott for $60 million, I'm sorry to tell you, Mark, you're not winning shit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what you got to look at. And this is what I believe is actually going on. One, I think Dak Prescott is the one that said, let's take our time on this thing. Let me see what you guys are going to do before I rush in to sign a contract. Because maybe you guys really aren't about anything other than drama. And, I've made almost $200 million after this year in my career. I've been NFL Man of the Year. I've been Rookie Offensive Player of the Year. If I can get a Super Bowl ring, then I've done it all. I can, be happy for the rest of my life. I'd like to win it here. But before I tie myself up for 3 or 4 years, which may be the last contract I sign, what are you guys going to do? And I dare say, this is where I'll actually look at this and say that I believe that Dak is the one that's kind of put them on there. Because you keep hearing the Cowboys saying, oh, yeah, we want to sign Dak, and all that. And Dak basically saying, I don't have to be the highest paid. And I think this is him saying, what are you going to do for me? Now, the talking heads out there are saying, the Cowboys, they didn't do anything to help Dak. They didn't get him any weapons. But you remember in 2016 when the Giants won 2 games against the Cowboys? That, they were up and coming. They had Odell Beckham before the knee injuries. They had Sterling Shepard. And in the offseason, they signed Brandon Marshall. And everybody went crazy and said, oh, my God, Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. You got Brandon Marshall. You got Sterling Shepard. You got Odell Beckham Jr. You're not going to be able to stop that team, right? And I said, yeah, they got great weapons, but their offensive line sucks. I said, Eli is not going to be able to do shit with that offensive line. And they were number 1 in attempts, and they were 19th in yardage and 23 in scoring. It's all about the offensive line. And that's where I think the Cowboys, drafting and getting 2 really good offensive linemen for the price of 1 actually is a message to Dak. Dak, we're looking out for you to try and keep you healthy.
We'll look at the Eagle draft here in a second, but I wanted to go over the Cowboy draft with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you my assessment, and then I'd like for you to follow up on how you looked at how I saw what they did, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'd love that, man. It's your show, man. It's your show. I'm just living in your world, bro.
All right. First pick, 29th, Tyler Guyton, OT, Oklahoma. I said this about the kid. 6'7", 328, very athletic kid.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me a little bit of Lane Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're looking for him to replace Tyron Smith. Here's my problem.
Go ahead.
He's not a left tackle. He's more, in my opinion, of a run-blocking right tackle. So to me, it's going to be a little bit more of a learning curve for him.
Yes.
Being out there on that spot with the blind side and playing against traditionally the best edge rushers are coming from that angle. Now, with Zach Martin there, that helps him.
Oh, it's tremendous.
A ton having a guy like that next to him. However, second moves will be an issue. This. I feel better with him. And by the way, I like the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I like the pick, but you're going from a guy who's a little stiffer than Tyron Smith to play that left tackle. You have to be patient over there at that spot. Whereas the other side, you could be aggressive, and he's got an aggressive mentality. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him at that left tackle spot.
All right, let me counter that. At Oklahoma, his quarterback was left-handed. He had to defend the blind side of the quarterback. He had 13 starts at right tackle. He had 1 start at left tackle. I will give you that. And as Mike McCarthy said, try wiping your ass with your right hand and then try wiping it with your left hand. It's 2 totally different things. He is very young, very raw. The 14 starts aren't a lot. But having, like you said, having Tyler Smith next to him, and I dare say this is one of those moves where most Eagle fans have been joking about Zeke Elliott coming back. Zeke Elliott is not going to be the every down back. But the thing that's great about Zeke Elliott, he's a relic, but the dude can block. He can help out on that side.
In red zone.
Yeah, that's in red zone. And so that's where you look at it and say, we got Dak Prescott's friend, appease Dak a little bit here, and he's a guy who does not mind putting his nose up in there and will be able to help out. I think it was actually a good move. To be able to move back and to get that extra pick was huge.
Here's what I say to that when you say the left-hand quarterback. Still, when you're on the right side,
everything's reversed.
Side, and when I get it, you're still dropping you're still dropping a different foot
Yes.
when you're preparing. Okay,
Everything is opposite now.
everything
My
is
punch
in
is with my
reverse.
left hand instead of my right hand. I get it. That
Mark,
first step
it's a
is
great
with left.
observation that I hadn't thought of before. And on top of that, there's a reason why you don't have left-handed quarterbacks as your backup quarterbacks in the league, because
it screws them
you
up.
would have to flip the entire offense for a guy, and that's why you don't see a lot of left-hand quarterbacks. It's a great observation. So that does play into it. Hey, by the way, when I said this, I thought there would have been 10 offensive linemen drafted. There were 9.
It was incredible.
There were so many good ones. Guys went so later in the draft, like this Keegan kid. We'll talk later on about him. I think he's the steal of the draft for the Eagles. I love the kid. 37 starts, captain of a national title team. I mean, we'll get to the Eagles here, but that's a good observation. Let me get to the second guy now. Second round, 56th pick. Marshawn Nealon. Is that right? Edge, Western Michigan, 6'3", 237. Now, here's my takeaway from what the guys at Bledsoe and what Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Panthers, said about him. He's a little undersized. He's a damn good run stopper. He's shockingly, for him being 237,
267.
Cowboys need pass rushers. However, their big deficiency in that front seven is stopping the run.
Yes.
So to me, they got him more on the fact that they're hoping to develop him into being more of a pass rusher, but they got him mainly because they think he's going to be helping in the run stop game where they need the help the most.
Well, actually, this is one, I think this pick is more for the future than it is right now. Because when you look at him, he's more like D-Law, DeMarcus Lawrence. And DeMarcus Lawrence, this is basically the last year of his contract. He's getting older in the tooth, but they're very similar in his game. He is a really good run stopper. He's actually 267, 6'3", 267. And I think he'll be part of the rotation. You know, the Cowboys, one of the things we did last year, and everybody is going through, we lost Dorrance Armstrong and we lost Dante Fowler. We keep a rotation of the guys, and he'll be definitely one of those rotations. And you have to look at this from the standpoint of the Cowboys had two big problems when it came to playoffs: running the football and stopping the run. We haven't done anything to run better as far as running backs, but we've done that on the offensive line. And we got some players that will help out with that run stopping.
This is my favorite pick of the Cowboy draft. Third round, 73rd pick, Cooper Beebe, guard center. Mostly he's going to play center.
Juggernaut.
I vote on the All-American teams every year, and on the top 25, I voted him 2 years in a row. First team All-American, and he's two-time Big 12 lineman of the year, 6'3", 222. In my opinion, you lose a center. I watched the kid play, and if you watch him, now, so you got to remember something about linemen, like I said. You know, the top guys like Fuaga had a 93 rating. Well, a kid like this had a 91 rating. That's how close all these guys were. Yeah. So it's kind of like your favorite dessert, Mark. So to me, I love this pick here. And it would not shock me if this kid turns out to be one of the better players that they've drafted over the last 3-4 years.
Here's the thing that's actually amazing, okay? The Cowboys, we get more shit than anything. We don't do crap in free agency and stuff. But for the most part, you look at things that we do. To actually have moved back to get the pick to get this guy is unbelievable. You think about his size. He's 6'3". I'm glad he's not too tall, because at center, it's the low man that wins. Too many times with Biadasz, especially, and this is where I think this is against you guys, because you've got the big guys with Jordan Davis in the middle. Typically, Biadasz, when he had a big guy in the middle, he'd just get pushed all the way back into Dak Prescott's lap. Cooper Beebe, I think of him like Juggernaut. You know, if you've seen the Marvel character, you know, his head is kind of in between his shoulders. It's like he's got no neck. He is physical, he is mean, and he's there to crack some skulls. I think that this may be, like you said, one of the best moves the Cowboys have done in a long time.
The other third rounder, Maris Linfro, is that how you say his name?
Yeah. Notre
Dame. The kid's going to help in run defense.
Boom.
I watched him at Notre Dame last year, and Al Golden was the defensive coordinator of that thing. And it seemed to me that, again, does a lot of false steps in there a little bit, but he's aggressive. I don't really think Notre Dame's defense was exceptional last year. I think it got better towards the end of the year. That team got better towards the end of the year. And I think he got better towards the end of the year. So, I mean, I think a lot of the guys that they signed on defense and drafted on defense were helped the run game.
Yeah, definitely. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more on the interior defensive line, but we do have a guy in the end, as we'll get to later on, that I think actually could be helpful. No fourth-round pick.
This kid Carson, Killian Carson?
Yeah.
Cornerback, Wake Forest. This is what Mario Cristobal said about him. Great athlete, tremendous tackler, and somebody that can shock you and maybe see some playing time in that secondary. Help you a lot on special teams, but they're talking here again where this guy here could maybe be a depth guy there in that corner position.
Definitely.
Now that you get Diggs back.
Yeah, and I'm not discounting that Stephon Gilmore might be brought back into the fold. I think part of the deal with Stephon Gilmore is he had the shoulder surgery. I think they're waiting to see how all of that stuff works out and so on. You know, you've heard rumors that he might go back to New England or he might go back to Carolina. I don't necessarily see him wanting to finish up his career with teams that are in that position. So don't be surprised if he comes back. But Carson, his nickname was Seatbelt because his coverage was literally like a seatbelt wrapped around you. He is actually a lot better than I think a lot of people will think will give him credit for. I don't look for him to be a guy that's going to be plugged in as a starter. But working with Al Harris has done some phenomenal work with the Cowboys secondary players, and I think eventually that guy might be a head coach.
Well, help me out on this sixth pick here. Ryan Florno from Southwest Mississippi Valley State, Eagle Creek University, Helen Keller University, wide receiver. I mean, I don't get this one here, but okay.
Camp body, depth. Yeah,
depth?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be that hard not to make the Cowboys wide receiver group after CD.
Yeah, but I don't think the Cowboys are done right there. Here's where I look at it and say, the Cowboys are now beginning to sign some guys. We're talking about bottom feeders right now, getting Zeke back in the fold and stuff like that, bringing back Damian Wilson and stuff. But see, the Cowboys have those extra comp picks for next year. We got the 3 5s and a 6, it looks like, that are coming through. It would not surprise me to see the Cowboys use a 5th or 6th round and try and make a trade for a running back as well as another possible weapon or maybe even a 4th round pick. I think the Cowboys have been playing possum or rope-a-dope, so to speak, and now they're trying to hurry up and get this thing put together. They don't like to spend a whole lot of money. The way Stephen Jones looked at it, and you can ask Stephen, is if I get a guy that first week or two and I spend $12 million for him, I might be able to get 3 or 4 guys in that second wave, because now teams, they got a guy they didn't expect, so now you're going to start to see some veterans that have been pretty good, and more times than not, the Cowboys have actually done some pretty good things with some of the veterans later on filling in the roster. The thing that kills me is, this is not a knock, actually it is a knock on you damn Eagles. Screw you Eagle fans, man. It's crazy that you guys are coming around and acting like you just won the Super Bowl or something. It's like, did y'all forget that y'all crashed and burned after the season? Because last I thought we were all kind of in the same boat. We lost the first weekend of the playoffs.
Always remember this, though, big fella.
Okay.
You guys backed into the NFC East. The Eagles did implode.
Yes.
So remember, they played their worst football.
Yes.
And still almost won the East. You
because you
had
built
to
up
rely on the Eagles in a nuclear meltdown.
But Dan,
you were never going to win the East.
Dan, deja vu, Dan. Deja vu. Last year, this time, if you and I had been friends and talking on here, we would be having the exact same conversation. The Cowboys suck. They're not doing anything to help themselves. They will not do shit. Nobody expected us to be anywhere. What did they say about your team? Best quarterback in the NFC, Jalen Hurts. Look at that offensive line, the wide receivers, Howie Vision. They're Super Bowl champions. and you crashed and burned. You looked like some ass, man. Come on.
Wait a minute. I completely agree with that. But after I watched a guy who has got 2 starts under his belt and Sammy Love beat the piss out of you in your own barn.
It happens.
And watch you lay it on them with 19-year-olds. I couldn't believe it. I was watching the Green Bay Packers who got rid of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, a whole shitload of players. And they took out my old nun's whipping board.
You know, though,
Sister Marjorie Fish's paddle.
Unfortunately,
and they paddled you.
Unfortunately, the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers are kryptonite. It doesn't, from the ice bowl on to the catch, no catch. I don't know why the hell we can't do shit against the Green Bay Packers, okay? They shit on us. They did. I can't.
Rodgers, now it's Jordan Love?
Yeah. And Brett Favre before that.
Your quarterback sucks.
Are you talking about quarterback sucking?
No, yeah. Your quarterback's legacy, you know who he is?
Oh, Lordy.
Hey, do you know what he is? He is a white guy version of Kirk Cousins.
Ooh, okay.
He's the same guy.
I tell you what. Look, we'll see where we're looking at the end of the season. Let's see if your quarterback still has a job with the Eagles.
Hey, all I know is this.
Right?
Kirk Cousins and Dak. What's the difference?
Okay, all right. Well, I tell you what. I tell you one thing. Kirk Cousins has had better wide receivers than Dak Prescott has collectively. You got to start looking at Justin Jefferson.
And all that.
But I'm just saying.
Okay, tell your general manager that.
Well, now if you really want to get down to the shit, it's the general manager and your buddy Stephen Jones. The next time you get him on the show for your 5th time, ask him, bro, why aren't you trying to help your quarterback out like the Eagles do?
Are you an apologist for Dak?
I'm not an apologist for Dak, but let's keep it real. When San Francisco goes out, when San Francisco goes out and gets Christian McCaffrey and we bring back Zeke, are those things equal?
Wait, Brock Purdy's more accomplished than Dak.
Look at the people around him, bro. Listen, you went into come on, man.
Hey, don't shit on John Lynch because he knows what he's doing.
Exactly. So you're blaming Dak Prescott because the Joneses don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Here's why. You know what's funny? If you're really one of those elite quarterbacks, here's a stat for you there,
Go
big
ahead.
man.
Give it to me. Give it to me, man.
The last 23 years, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots name me one Hall of Fame wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is one.
Yes.
Wide receiver, not tight end.
Randy Moss.
And the Brady 6 Super Bowl runs, and the Chiefs, they've won 9 Super Bowls, been there 13 times with guys like Julian Edelman and Damon Amendola, and also guys by the name of Juju Smith-Schuster. When you have the quarterback, the coaches, the ownership, the general managers, all those things lined up, you win. Unfortunately,
here's the thing is,
you have none of those things lined up.
But there's 32 teams, and you named 2 guys in the last 17 years. Not everybody can get one of those guys. But not everybody can get one of those guys. You guys said, man, maybe we got a quarterback, maybe we don't. Let's put some people around and try and make it better. Right or wrong?
Oh,
okay. Let's go down the line. Do you look at your offensive line versus the shit we put out the last 3 years as equal?
No.
Do you think that an offensive line makes a difference to make a quarterback better or not?
Complete. Now, hang on here. Dak had plenty of weapons and couldn't do anything with it.
Okay. He never had literally, except for
Philly
1 year.
500. Philly 500. Hey, Xander, send Philly 500 a link and see if he wants to come on. Are you okay with that?
Lordy. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Or you're not going to run or hide. I don't want you to run or hide or anything, Mark. I'm
not going to run or hide.
What am I doing? Can't get back here. And so before we start this video, I got to get this mother humping thing out of the way.
Okay. We
Mark
gotta.
Holmes is my daddy.
Mark Holmes is my daddy.
Mark
That's out of the way.
Holmes.
Ow!
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yes.
Mark Holmes.
The son of Philly 500 and John Holmes.
Did I just hear that right?
Yes.
Philly 500
Yes.
admitted
Yes.
that he's your son?
Yes.
Wow. Man. So wait a minute. If Philly 500 is in here. So do me a favor, Xander. Send him a link to see if he can come on here. All right. So let me get your assessment here before
My
we get him
assessment.
on.
Okay.
Give me your overall grade for this draft for the Cowboys.
Here's the thing. You get all the experts that are going to
How
grade
about
you
this?
and tell you.
Not a grade on talent, but did they address needs?
Yes.
And did they get the right player? Yes, Philly 500, a real content creator.
Okay. Here's the thing I will say is the Cowboys, with not having that many picks, to create the extra one, none of these guys are guaranteed to be anything. None of them. They could all end up being busts. They could be injured in training camp. You don't know. But they looked at it and they said, we're going to get Guyton to be our next Tyron Smith. And Tyron Smith is a great veteran. But you remember the days of Tyron Smith literally just taking his left arm and just blowing a guy out? Those days are long and gone. This is a guy that has a potential to be that guy. It may not be this year. But if he can come along like Tyler Smith did his rookie year, we are in actually great shape because Tyron Smith has only averaged 7.5 games a season the last 4 years. If this center ends up being the guy that we think that he could be, all of a sudden this team is totally different.
So wait a minute here. Let me walk back something here with you.
Walk it back.
Let me you
Philadelphia.
had Michael Gallup, you had CeeDee Lamb, you had Zeke Elliott during the prime of Dak, you had Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. You had one of the top O-lines in the National Football League in his 9 years.
No.
Playoff
Hold on. From 2016 on, that offensive line went way downhill. Travis Frederick getting the Hillian-Barr syndrome changed that completely. We never really got a good center. We went from Joe Looney to Biotis. We did not have a great center, and you guys know how important a center is. That is the field general. Everything starts from that guy. And when your center's getting blasted in the backfield, sorry, that ain't it. We've had Zach Martin, but over the last 4 years, like I said, Tyron Smith has been more missing in action than actually being out on the field. This year he had 13 games. The year before he had 2. The year before that he had 4. So you're not looking at Tyron Smith being there on a regular basis. Zach Martin has been incredible, but we've had problems with the left guard till last
Holy
year.
cow.
We had
Wait a minute. Let me go. No. Philly 500 is going to come on in a couple minutes here, but I'm going to throw this at you here.
Throw it at me.
So, like, great quarterbacks don't need great players around them. They carry their teams.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Your team has had great players around him, and apparently they can't carry him.
Win more than you.
Hold on. Let me drop my mic.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. They've been to a Super Bowl. You know where you've been?
And he fumbled it.
They've been to a Super Bowl. Do you know where you've been?
In the toilet
Palookaville.
bowl. In the toilet bowl. I'm not going to dispute.
Wait a minute.
I'm not going to dispute that.
You guys in the last 20 years have had the success the Eagles
Oh,
have had.
here we go. The last 20 years.
Crazy?
Okay.
This team's been to 2 Super Bowls in 6 years, won one.
Yes.
Was 3 points away from winning one 2 years ago, and you can't get out of the first round. I mean, they're like the 76ers of the NFL.
Can't dispute that. Which is
Okay, your quarterback, you got the wrong signal caller.
It's not the signal caller alone. I'm not going to say that Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in football. Not going to. But when you got
Where would you rank him?
Where would I rank him? He's in the top 10.
God. You don't mean, I know you don't mean that because I know you're smarter than that. You don't mean that.
Yeah, he is. Take a look at the numbers. Okay, but be that as it may.
Numbers?
Okay.
You think he's better than Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy again has everything around him. These are not equal situations. With Debo, Ayuk, with Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, he's got a running game. He's got a great.
Allen?
I would say Josh Allen and him are about the same.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You do not mean
yes.
And nothing.
Here's the thing with Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen has a lot of talent. Josh Allen is an incredible athlete. Josh Allen is great at running, but Josh Allen has a propensity of throwing interceptions.
You're
Turnovers.
at low-hanging fruit. He's won 4 straight. He's won 4 straight AFC East championships.
Yes, he has. And
where's
it gotten him?
700 win percentage.
And where's it got? Has it got him in the Super Bowl yet? Because by your definition, you're not shit unless
Holmes,
I thought
Jackson,
if you were the quarterback, you can overcome. Isn't that what you just said? Wait. Didn't you just say if you are a great quarterback, you can overcome? He doesn't need anything, right?
I see. So when Josh Allen loses to Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game and you lose to Jordan Love in his first year starting, that's comparable?
A loss is a loss.
Technically, you're right.
You didn't win the big one. Does it matter if you lost by 30 or 2?
Dak is Kirk Cousins.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. But he's also finds a way to kick y'all's ass. Yes or no? At least, hey, that's all we got. At least we can beat you guys on regular.
Oh, no, you're the Eagle beaters.
Yes, right. The team is beat to build the Eagles.
Here's
what I wish for. I wish we played each other in the playoffs.
The Cowboys are built to beat Philly, but they're not built to win.
There you go. The sad thing about my team is we get close, but we end up having a few pieces that aren't there. And this is where I have to give you guys credit because you lose somebody during the season, Howie is out there trying to find somebody to replace him. Doesn't always work, but that year you went to the Super Bowl and should have won it. It was like gold. Every free agent you brought in there, it's like, I can't believe this guy's working out. The only one that didn't, I think, was Randall Cobb. I mean, not Randall Cobb. Edge rusher from Chicago. Not Randall Cobb.
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn, yeah. That's the only move that you made that whole season that you look at and say didn't turn out gold. And I can't look at I'm sitting here looking at my team with an old-ass Zeke Elliott at the moment is the answer. Zeke Elliott. And Jerry Jones saying, I can see him as a starter.
Why didn't they go get for $9 million, even cheaper than Saquon? Why didn't they get Derrick Henry?
Because they love their draft picks and they're so in love with their draft. They didn't want to risk losing one of those precious comp picks.
That's because you overvalue your expertise as a football expert that you're not.
The chemical engineer, your buddy, that's his philosophy. He don't want to spend money in free agency. That means
He's
you didn't.
Stuck in 1996.
Yes, he is. They're cheap. That's it, Dwayne. Exactly. He's cheap.
Here's the deal. Those picks in 96 were important. Okay? Important. In 2024, they're not as important. Mark, we had a solid team at 21 and 22.
That's failed. My buddy Walker Wade. We did. We had a solid team. But by the end of the year, see, here's the difference. And Wade and I
Your best team was the Dez Bryant catch that they didn't call a catch and they got closed in Green Bay.
That was the pinnacle of the Cowboys' offensive line. And you had DeMarco Murray rush for 1,800 yards. That was it. The defense wasn't that good, but it was better than it was the year before. We ended up being second in the NFL and taking the football away. That was a great team there. He's going on the 21 team, which is funny that we're sitting here talking about the 21 and 22 team. Because after 21, when we lost to San Francisco, what the Cowboys did was they got rid of Amari Cooper. They let Cedric Wilson, their number 3 receiver, go. They didn't sign Randy Gregory back. They got rid of Lyle Collins, starting right tackle, and Connor Williams, who was starting left guard. And we ended up having a 12-5 season. We didn't bring anybody but James Washington in as a wide receiver. And this is where I look at this and say, the Cowboys still, I don't know if we have enough to win a Super Bowl. I'm not going to go there and say that. But
Mark,
they have enough players.
In the next 5 years, do you think in the next 5 years the Cowboys will at least get to an NFC championship game?
I think that depends on what happens with Dak. Because it could very easily end up being in quarterback purgatory. Fans, meaning, you go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to move on from Dak. You could end up being the Commanders looking for a quarterback forever. Getting a quarterback, whether, I see Eagle fan over here say Dak chokes. Even getting a Kirk Cousins is not even easy to do. Quarterbacks, they're few and far between. And if you don't have one, you're constantly out there trying to get one. Do you look at Cleveland and say, with all the number one picks that they've used and traded for Deshaun Watson, that they're good at quarterback right now? You look at Washington that basically since Mark Rippon has been trying to find a real franchise quarterback. It's hard.
Mark, let me bring this to you. Mark always got some excuses for everything. You're right. Dak is the Black Cousins. He's trash. Jerry can't buy rings now since the cap.
He could if he wanted to, but for whatever reason, they don't want to spend money.
It's Mark. I think really this is an ego thing with him. I think those draft picks to him are like gold nuggets. They really look at those draft picks and they look at a free agent like Derrick Henry and go like this. No, I mean, I'd rather draft a guy and get him as a rookie and develop him. Well, when's the last running back that you truly developed over a 10-year period? Zeke? Okay. But then you know what you did? Once you gave him his money and he came back from Cabo, every year from then, man, from the Cabo trip, it was a completely different guy every year.
They do. And see, that's what happened with Michael Gallup. There's no way in the hell. Michael Gallup was going downhill for 2 years before you signed him to a big deal after he tore his ACL. And they value from Jalen Smiths and things. Leighton Vander Esch was a decent linebacker, but he always had injury history. And you look and say, oh, we're going to go ahead and roll the dice. We'll be okay with him. That is the problem of the Cowboys is they believe, as Stephen Jones says, we believe in our guys. And you don't have a backup plan. So when Vander Esch goes down, you say, well, we're not going to look for a linebacker. We'll just take, Marquise Bell, who's a safety, and he'll be our linebacker. What is that?
Let me flip the script on you now. What'd you make of the Eagle draft?
The Eagles draft, I'm going to be honest, I didn't pay as much attention to them as I did. I hear this is where it's kind of funny to me, is the two cornerbacks that you drafted. Everybody's like, oh, my God, you got two of the best cornerbacks and stuff. You're going to plug them in.
Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
And it's funny because they say that's going to make that defense so much better. The Cowboys get arguably the best guard in football prospect, right? And they got a really good tackle that are rookies, and we're going to plug them in. And they turn around and say, oh, well, the Cowboys are going to have to rely on these rookies to plug in. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Aren't the Eagles have to do the same thing? The Eagles, all of a sudden, they're praising them and telling them how great they are. The Cowboys, oh, well, they didn't get any more weapons. You took care of the biggest need that you had, and that's the offensive line. That's the biggest problem you have. And for those out there that say the Cowboys stink, you can only do so much with Jerry Jones the way he is. But you got to look at it from the standpoint of linebacker was our biggest problem right there in the offensive line. They took advantage of trying to fix those two things. We now have enough guys in a rotation that at least we can put out a linebacker as opposed to a safety. And you have potential in the offensive line to be really good or at least better than you have been. And that's all you can really hope for. Now, maybe, just maybe, Jerry Jones, the old Jerry Jones, comes around and he'll start trading some of those 5th and 6th round picks and trying to get a couple guys that will help take us over the top.
Okay, now listen here. I've been waiting for this to get you two together here. And I've got to bring Philly 500 on now. And Philly 500,
excuse me, I'm drinking some Cowboys tears right now.
Dan, you know what is funny?
This guy's delusional.
No, you know what's funny?
Delusional.
I believe you sent me a text the other day, Philly, and said that you might as well just start printing up shirts for the 25 season. Didn't you say?
No, I said something to the effect that you might as well, start preparing for the 2025 season because it's pretty much over for you right now.
You know, this is this is deja vu for like the last 3 years. Because I remember
deja vu.
No, wait. No.
Deja vu.
I remember, bro. I remember last year you were like, "Oh my God, we got Jalen Carter. We got DeMar Hill. I mean, not DeMar. Jordan Davis. You're not going to get 2 inches on that defensive front. We're going to just blow everybody away. We're going to the Super Bowl. There's no point having a season. Cowboys are ass.
We did go to the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute.
No,
Philly,
I'm talking about this past season.
Mark, hang on. I do want to say this. This is where I'm with Philly here. Dude, you're not really hanging your hat saying that Dak Prescott's a better quarterback. And I'm not even he knows this. I'm not a gigantic Jalen guy, but I'm not taking that guy who, after I watched
I'll take
him,
Dak. I'll tell you what. You're going to find out how handicapped.
Packer game.
You're going to find out how handicapped Dak Prescott is with Kellen Moore. Good luck with that shit.
Let me
good luck with that shit.
Listen to this, Sills. In one year they had Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, Gallup before his injury, and CeeDee Lamb on the field at the same time.
CeeDee Lamb was a rookie.
This guy has the balls to actually.
CeeDee Lamb was a rookie. Amari Cooper had a plantar fasciitis.
Amari Cooper was the best receiver according to you, and you still can't get out of the first round.
He had 878 yards.
See what I've learned about Mark. It's not he don't care if the Cowboys lose, as long as you don't blame Dak Prescott.
Oh, bro. You saw me fall out. Believe me, you saw me fall the F out of my chair, man, when we lost in that playoff game.
I know, and then what did you do? You lose the game, and then you go, well, maybe if they would give Dak weapons. Oh, look at all these people calling in, telling me it's Dak's fault. They don't want to hear about Dak. Dak Prescott is a choker. He can't win in the playoffs when it counts the most.
Mark, let me ask you.
And my boy Jalen Hurts, he's got as many playoff wins.
Let me ask you this, Mark.
He only has one less loss.
How about this? Okay, all right.
He's got a losing record in the playoffs too, bro.
Do you think that Jalen has been given all the talent that he needs to win a Super Bowl, or do you think he's not going to do it?
I don't think he's going to do it. I do not think he's going to do it.
But you think Dak will?
No, I didn't say that. I'm not with the Cowboys as they're currently constructed, unless they have a sea change in attitude. That's where I was going through and saying, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm not in a hurry to sign a contract. I want to see if the Cowboys are going to do, anything more than anybody else. If I'm Dak and I'm looking at the Eagles and saying, well, damn, you done got A.J. Brown signed here on a contract. Damn, you done got Devontae Smith signed. Damn, you done gone out there and you done got Saquon Barkley. What do I got? I got Zeke Elliott.
The first half of Dak Prescott's career, when Zeke was still a great player, and you had all those weapons, you went out and you got more.
Hold. Early on in his career, you had an old Dez Bryant who was having a hard time staying on the field.
Okay, you had the best offensive line in football.
We did, and we had an ass defense.
You had Zeke Elliott, who at that time
Zeke was good.
And then you went out and you gave a second-round pick for Amari Cooper.
Actually, it was a first-round pick.
Gallup, who was really
Gallup was good for one season.
So when they go out and they get him Amari Cooper with a first-round pick, that's the Cowboys front office not doing anything for him?
They got Amari Cooper they got in the middle of the season. They got Amari Cooper in the middle of the season because our leading receiver at that time was Measly Beasley.
Mark,
Terrence Williams,
not going anywhere in
and Allen Hurd.
You see, no matter what, it's everybody else's fault but Dak Prescott.
I didn't say it's not Dak Prescott's fault.
Never Dak Prescott.
But
Dak Prescott. Okay,
so let me ask you this: then, of those 6 or 7 games that you guys lost, whose fault was that?
When When?
This
At the end
past
of the
season.
year?
This year, as in 6 months ago.
It was
when you-
everybody's fault.
Oh,
Start
wait,
with the coaching.
hold on. What do you mean it was
Yeah.
everybody's fault? I thought it was just the quarterback. So when my, Micah Parsons gets nothing in the playoffs, when my defense
Mm-hmm.
literally can't stop anybody in the run, when my number one wide receiver drops the first 2 passes thrown to him, when we have
they
a million
dropped the first
freaking
2
penalties
passes
against
thrown
us,
to
it's
them.
all Dak Prescott. But for your team to collapse, bro, your team
Listen,
collapses,
when Jalen
it's the
Hurts
whole
makes a
team.
mistake, when Jalen Hurts makes a mistake, I'm the first person to say it. But
What a stupid
everybody
throw.
and their mother can look at that team and see it was a team collapse, starting with the coaching staff. However, you're talking about a guy that's played double the amount of Jalen Hurts. And every year he can't get out of the second round playoffs. How many championship games has Dallas been in? How many Super Bowls has Dallas been in?
You got me
None.
there, bro.
Dak Prescott
You
hasn't
got
done
me none
anything.
there.
And then when you have all those weapons, he goes out and throws 37 touchdowns. He
And
does
with
nothing.
all of the stuff
And
that you
get
have
rid of
here,
everybody.
how many
And then
Super
all
Bowls
of
have
a
you won,
sudden,
Jalen
guess
Hurts?
what? Hey,
Mark.
listen, with all the stuff my guy got, he got to the Super Bowl. He came
did.
one drive from winning.
All right,
He did.
Philly,
did.
because I know you're a fan of this. Mark, what does Kellen Moore bring, and what will he bring to Jalen Hurts and him getting better as a quarterback? What will that bring to the Eagle offense?
You asking me or are you asking Philly 500?
I'm asking you, Mark.
The thing, Kellen Moore's going to have to change a lot of what he's doing to fit Jalen Hurts' game. Because Jalen Hurts is more running, and that is a big portion of his game. Kellen Moore is not that guy on there. He's going to one of them are going to have to meet in the middle. And the thing that I keep saying about Jalen Hurts is that first read, if it's not there, he's ready to take off. Of course, everybody that comes to Philly, according to Philly 500, is the greatest thing ever. So go ahead. Be happy about Kellen Moore. Trust me.
Kellen Moore-
I'm happy
Kellen
you got
Moore-
Go ahead. Tell me.
Kellen Moore is your worst nightmare. He is your worst nightmare right now because what he's going to do with the Eagles, when he comes in there and they go and they actually get past the second round of playoffs, you're going to have to admit that you can't use Kellen Moore as a scapegoat anymore.
And you know what?
You can't use
If that's the case, I will be the first one to say I was wrong. Kellen Moore is a genius. I will be the first one to say Kellen
get
Moore
ready.
is
You
a
start
genius.
practicing your lines.
Okay?
Start writing
But
them down.
I'm betting that by the end of the year, you guys are going to be ready to run him and Nick Sirianni out of town.
Well,
That has nothing to do with Dak not being a choker.
How about this? All right, how about this? So is Dak better without Moore
Definitely.
than he was with Moore?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay. Wait. 36 TDs, 9 interceptions without a running game. The
What
year
was his best
before,
year?
hold on, the year before, when he was here, we had 500 yards more on the ground. We had Zeke and Tony Pollard. Zeke had almost 1,000. Tony Pollard had over 1,000. We had a decent running game. And we
With
ended
who?
up
With
having
Kellen Moore?
24 TDs and 15 interceptions with Kellen Moore. We don't have a running game last
Oh, wait,
year.
wait,
We don't
wait,
have
wait.
a running game. And we got 36
You blaming
TDs.
Kellen Moore on the interceptions now, too?
He was one calling the plays. When you saw,
Okay. See
there
that?
you go. Are you actually trying to say? So wait a minute. Hold. You can't have Philly. You can't have it both
Wait,
ways.
Kellen Moore's.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say
Dak Prescott's best year was under Kellen Moore.
no.
He threw 37 touchdowns. That was his best year. Yeah, it was.
Well,
And
okay,
he choked.
but he had more interceptions. But
Hey,
how many of those interceptions
he
were
was
ones
more
like
dangerous.
Noah Brown's tip up to the plate?
come on, man. Oh, my God. this guy.
I gotta love it. I'm getting tag teamed here by Eagles.
This dude
Okay.
literally is trying to say that he was better off without Kellen Moore. Goes into Green Bay and gets crushed. And when it's the second quarter and your
you know
team
what,
has a
though,
chance
buddy?
to get back in, what does Dak Prescott do? He can't put the team on his back.
He can't put
the team on his shoulder.
But okay,
He throws
did
a
your
pick
guy put
six.
the team on
Throws
his
a
back
pick
the last
six.
7 games?
What is that?
Did your
Oh,
guy
you can talk about last 7 games. Let's talk about the whole career. How many playoff games has
He's had
Dak
one
won
good
in his
career.
whole
He's
career?
had one good season there, bro.
Dak Prescott's had one good season?
No, your guy.
Yeah, but my guy's going to a Super Bowl. My guy was one drive away from winning it. Your
okay.
guy hasn't even sniffed a Super Bowl.
I'll give you credit on the San Francisco game, beating them because they're our kryptonite. But do you really count the Giants game?
I count every game.
Hey, Philly.
It's a playoff game.
Philly.
Dude, you were a number 2 seed and you
Does
lost
this defense
to a
have
7
any
seed.
heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season,
They
Philly.
shit on you.
Okay.
They've
We
shit
both
on
can
you.
do that, Mark.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can play it too. Look, listen. Sills.
Oh, it's going to be a
See
fun
that?
season.
He's now Philly 500's bitch, his own words. And he wasn't coerced to say it. See, when he has to make me lose bets.
Philly.
And then he towards me saying stuff he asked me to say. I didn't ask him to say he was my bitch. He knew he was.
Philly.
Who has a better record this year and who wins the NFC East?
Ooh.
Eagles. Eagles better record win NFC East. I don't even know if Dallas is going to beat Washington this year.
Ooh.
I think Dallas is in tank mode.
What are we betting this year?
Finishes last place in the NFC East?
I think third.
Oh, man, you are on crack, man.
No, Dallas didn't do. What did Dallas do to get better? Nothing. And he's talking about. I'm listening and driving. He's talking about. Well, we're just getting ready to start signing free agents. It's May.
Yes, it
May,
is.
And he's happy about them
Philly,
signing
have
free
we
agents.
not been here before?
Nobody's scared of Zeke.
Believe me, I'm not
Nobody's
either.
scared of Zeke.
But he does have some benefits: short yardage and pass protection. And trust me, I'm praying that that's not the final solution here.
Mark, who has a better defense, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Cowboys do.
Philly?
Cowboys will have a better defense.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Let's see what Vic Fangio does. I like a lot of the stuff we did on defense, but I'll see. I want to see the improvement. So
all kidding. Okay, here's the thing. All kidding aside, okay. I mean, we talk a lot of shit, and Philly, and I'm gonna say this because, I love you, son. you know I do. You know you've been through some shit there before, bro, and I've been there for you, son. So don't forget.
Cowboys tears.
We talk a whole lot of shit and stuff, but see, you better not mess with Philly 500 because you have to deal with me. But all jokes aside, the thing that honestly, on the outside looking in, that you have to worry about is that now you've got a third year where you're changing offensive coordinators. And
third year? This is the fifth one.
Or fifth one, okay.
Sirianni. Well, look, Sirianni, Steichen, the clown show notice Fredo Sirianni.
Okay,
you had
I
Ryan Johnson. Now you got Kellen Moore. This is the fifth dude he's had in 3 years starting.
There you go. So you've got that, and changing offense philosophies and things like that can slow you down coming out the box. That is a worry that you have. It could. And that's what they killed us on last year. Oh, my God, you're getting rid of Kellen Moore. The good thing, at least for the Cowboys, was Mike McCarthy didn't change everything, but it still took about 4 or 5 games before they started actually beginning to click.
Nothing.
Guys, I got to
changed.
read this. Mark
Nothing.
keeps saying Jalen only had one good season, and he reached the Super Bowl, but he has only been a starter for 3 years. Dak's 8 years and only 2 playoff wins. Body of work matters. Large sample size. Dak is garbage.
I hear you guys. I hear you.
Choker. I want to hear Mark Holmes blame Dak Prescott after a playoff loss. Say, my quarterback did not rise to the occasion.
My quarterback did not rise to the occasion.
His whole career.
Nor did anybody else on my team.
No.
I cannot look and say other than Jake Ferguson.
Dallas he don't care if Dallas loses as long as you don't blame Dak.
I blame everybody. When you lose, you lose as a team, bro.
Yeah.
And what are you writing with Dak?
At the moment, I don't see a better solution at the moment. You saw 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. How many of those guys do you think are going to be decent quarterbacks?
None.
I actually think the Washington quarterback.
The Washington kid. I like Jaden Daniels too.
I think yeah.
It's hard to get a quarterback. You guys, went all in to get Carson Wentz. Actually got lucky that Jalen Hurts is working out with all the pieces they put around him. Oh, Philly, don't act. Okay, so you see Jalen Hurts there for the next 10 years winning multiple Super Bowls. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I said it and I believe it.
Oh,
I
well,
said it before.
you say a
But
lot of
listen,
things, bro.
my issue
You say
isn't
a lot
that.
of
My
things.
issue is that you ignore and try to change history when your Dallas Cowboys were loaded on offense and they had a great offense and
And
they
an
still did the
ass
same
defense.
exact thing. And now they never gave Dak any weapons, which just is not true. It's just not true. He's had plenty of weapons and he's always come up small.
Xander even just kicked in 2 picks for Dak in the playoffs this year. Guy stinks.
2 picks, and how many points did my defense give up to?
Oh,
You
come
need your
on, man. You
quarterback,
can't be
when
riding
you
with.
need your
Okay.
quarterback
So
to step up.
How can you
I'll make
ride
it. I'll
with-
make it easy for you guys then. Okay, the Cowboys.
How can you ride with Dak Cousins?
I'll make it. I'll make it easy for you guys. We suck ass. We're terrible. We're losers. We don't care.
Thank God.
Okay.
Thank God. How
Now,
refreshing is that?
When we kick
That is
your ass,
refreshing, Mark. Thank
when
you.
we kick your ass, I want you to remember this shit. Okay. When you lose to the
yeah.
Cowboys, when your season
it's
goes
like
down the toilet, when Kellen Moore is ass and run out of town, just remember, I'll be right here. Okay.
You're gonna be so upset.
I'll be right
when Kellen
here.
Moore takes the Eagles and they're in the playoffs again and they're winning.
I'll
And you
be
can talk
right here,
all
bro.
that crap, but you're always talking about the regular season. You can't talk about the playoffs.
It's all I
when
got,
the
man.
playoffs on the line.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, let me
All
Well,
tell
I'll
you,
tell you
guys,
what. If we were playing you guys in the playoffs,
you'll lose.
oh,
Hey,
you'll-
bro.
all right. Parting shots.
Parting shots.
Here, Philly 500. You have the floor here for the last parting shot, and then Mark will. Okay? Parting shot. Cowboys, Eagles, 2024 will be what? Who will have the better year?
The Eagles will have the better year in every which way, from offensive to defensive to the whole team to the coaches. And the Cowboys, the truth of it is, they already know this. This is already planned out by Jerry Jones. He has planned for his team to tank. The reason why they didn't restructure Dak Prescott's contract, they don't want him anymore. The owner is telling you wide open that he has no room for Dak Prescott. So he's going to set this team up. He has set them up to lose, and then he's going to blame his quarterback. It's already written in stone. So, of course, the Eagles are going to be better in every way. We've got a better offense. I think we got a better young defense on the field now. You got future Eagle Micah Parsons dying to be an Eagle. And, yeah, of course, the Eagles got this. This is already done. Stick a fork in Dallas. They're done. It's time for change.
Mark?
Well, on paper, I will say Philly 500 is right. The Eagles are a team that have all kinds of talent. They really do. That they've got a owner that lets his GM go out there and figure out the cap. The fact that they are able to go out and sign players, contracts, and keep them in there, to go out there and get other players. It shouldn't be any kind of a contest, okay? It literally should not be. The Cowboys should be down here. Eagles should be up here. But the thing is, I think at the end of the season, we're going to be right about here. Both of us. And we'll see what we're going to see.
Hold on. You can't run for mayor for Dallas here, dog. You got to be either one way to you can't straddle a fence here
I'll
on
tell
this
you what.
show.
I see. I don't want
Who do you like?
I'm
better
superstitious,
season?
bro.
But no, you're running for mayor.
You know what?
Come on.
Well,
who's going to win? Who's going to be the better
All right.
team and win?
This thing sucks. Do it live. Okay? All right. If you want my gut feeling, the Eagles are going to crash and burn. They're going to suck ass. Kellen Moore
So you're
is going
calling
to
them
ruin.
the Dream Team again. Dream Team 2.
Yes. And the Cowboys.
I love it.
do what they
I
do.
love it. They're going to do what they do again. They're going to choke. That's what they do.
Oh,
every
I can't
man.
wait for the season to get here. We've got 128 days until kickoff. And
He's got a countdown clock. I
you're
love
gonna,
it.
You're going to lose. You're going to be the
Yeah,
first team
Mark-
to lose in
they're
South
gonna
America,
put Mark
bro.
in the loony bin by the end of this year. Believe me, he's going to be in the loony bin because the excuses for Dak Prescott are over, and the fact that Kellen Moore is now with the Eagles is Mark's biggest fear because your biggest scapegoat is you're about to lose it. you're going to have to come to the reality that your quarterback is Kirk Cousins.
You know what's
And that's
funny
just
about all
Dak
of this
Cousins.
stuff, Phil? You know, we're going in overtime here because they got to go to a station break. But, you know, I keep hearing this stuff every year. I remember hearing that about Jason Garrett when he was
And
going
every
to the
every
Giants.
year it's true.
Oh, okay.
But every year it's true.
Okay.
You choke in the playoffs every year. It's not like I'm saying it and it doesn't. It happens every year.
Mark, how do you handle that though when you know that you're one of the most visible sports teams and you get dumped on in the postseason and don't go anywhere?
Well, here's at least one good thing I can say is at least there's plenty of content to talk about.
That's for sure, guys.
There's always drama.
Hey man,
Gonna
this
be
has been
fun,
one of
Mark.
my
I'm
favorite.
coming for your ass.
This is one of my favorite segments, man. I totally dig this, man. I really appreciate you
Yeah.
two because Philly's got tremendous passion. You love your boys, but I'm gonna say this to you, man. I didn't realize how much of a love child Dak Prescott was to you.
Oh,
Holy shit,
Lord.
this guy's like, I didn't realize that,
shit.
man. I mean,
Okay.
you're in love with this guy.
Big time.
All right.
Big time. He loves them. He loves them.
Appreciate it.
Mark, hang on here before you go. What do you think, guys? We're gonna run a poll. Who do you think won that thing here? So we're gonna take a
It's
time
not
out.
fair. I got double teamed.
You better pause on that.
Hey.
You better pause on that
All right, guys. Hey, guys, Mark, awesome job. Philly,
Thanks
as
for
always,
having me on.
Thanks
I
for
love
having
you,
me
man.
too,
I
man.
love you too, guys.
There's nothing but
All right.
love here and all that. Philly, you still
You got
stink.
it, my friends. All right, hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Oh, shit. All right, good people. That. All right, good people. Hopefully that was fun for you guys. That was crazy with Philly 500. Mark Cook, Philly 500. I got tag teamed in there, man. I'm just like, damn. Just say no comment, Mark. CeeLo is a two-faced. 2 shows ago, he said Hurts sucks. Hurts will have more interceptions this season. Philly 500, your guy. Mark Cook, Philly 500. Mark for sure. Bro, it's ridiculous how Mark loves Dak Prescott, but they got Mark on being Dak stands, though. Fatty Holmes couldn't keep his mouth shut. You don't count every game, Dallas. Well, there you go. So, I've got a blank screen on, don't I? Hold up. There we go. Blank screen on there. That's no good. There we go. Hold it. Let's see. There we go. All right, good people. That's going to be it for now. I got some plants I got to go plant and everything else out in the garden and get ready to rock and roll. I appreciate everybody being here and being part of the show. I don't like Dak, but Dak is better than Hurts. Mark 1. He just loves his quarterback. Nothing wrong with that. Hell no. All right. Well, we do this every Wednesday. This is the first time Philly that this has been a tag team. Me, Philly 500, and Dan Silio. But I think it was fun. I think it was good. All right, good people. I will see you guys really soon, and we'll finish with this.
By the way, King Dick back here, and so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way. Mark Holmes is my daddy.